Well, I have a few stories to tell. Being 22 years old from Massachusetts in Brooklyn as a little kid and moving to Chicago. Um, and back in, it was like 84, 85. There wasn't a whole lot of female musicians out there. If they were, we had a few. We had Lita Ford, we had Bonnie Raitt, Ellen McElwain, you know, some classical players, but Emily Remler at one point, but there wasn't a whole lot of women out there. Definitely not a whole Sister Rosetta Tharpe once upon a time, but when I came along, boy, I didn't know any other women players. So it was an interesting thing. People didn't know how to take it. Like, you're a guitar player and you're not a singer that's strumming? No. I came to Chicago to learn how to play. And I feel like I learned pretty fast. Still learning, you never stop learning. But I was in a band called Dion Payton in the 43rd Street Blues Band. And we were the house band at the Checkerboard Lounge on the 43rd Street and Muddy Waters Drive or King Drive. And Buddy Guy owned that club. That was his first club. So we were the house band there. And Buddy Guy, when he wasn't on the road, oftentimes would use our band as his band. So I had been in Chicago maybe 2 months. And Buddy was one of my idols. I saw him, like I said, when I was 10 years old and saw him many times after that. And I'm standing in the back playing me and Dion. I had my little part I was doing. And he said, Buddy said, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to call this young woman to the front of the stage and we're going to have a guitar battle. And I thought I was going to faint. I'm like, a guitar battle with Buddy Guy. And I don't remember much after that because I was literally, the adrenaline was pumping so much. But I went to the front of the stage and had a guitar battle with Buddy Guy. And I'll never forget that moment because it was terrifying and immensely exciting. And it went over very well. And the next story, we're at the Kingston Mines, which is on the north side of Chicago, where I still play. It's been open for 50-something years, and it's a late-night club. It's open till 4 and then 5 in the morning on Saturday. And we were the house band there. And at that time, on Thursdays, we were the only band. Now there's 2 bands that go back and forth. So a lot of times at like 3 in the morning, we'd have a jam. And there was a guy from Atlantic Records that used to come see us a lot who lived in Chicago. He was an A&R guy, Rick Sudikoff. So Dion Payton's in the dressing room and he's like, Joanna, you're going to do the jam. Some English guy is going to play my guitar. Rick said he knows him. He can use my guitar. Go play with him. So I'm like, oh, some English guy. Okay. And I walk out there and Rick calls me to the stage. He goes, Joanna, come here. It was Jimmy Page, the English guy. I was like, here I was 22, still fresh in town. So I jammed with Jimmy Page, and we got up and played 5 songs together. And we also had a harmonica player and a singer, Valerie Wellington and Sugar Blue, who's a harmonica player on Stone's Miss You. He lived in Chicago. And our rhythm section at the time. And I'm standing there playing my guitar, and Jimmy Page is to my right. And he would ask me, you know, what we're going to play, and I'd tell him, oh, we're going to do this and that, we're in this key. And so we jammed. And the whole club, this is before, of course, social media and cell phones and cameras, so I don't have any pictures, but the whole club, even at 3 in the morning that was there, just rushed the stage. And he was absolutely delightful, a gentleman, very complimentary, very kind, and literally one of the most thrilling nights of my life, and still to this day. I mean, how many people could say they jammed with Jimmy Page? But living in Chicago, a lot. He was on tour with the Firm then, and a lot of people, I've met a lot of people, Herbie Hancock, Mick Jagger, Bob Dylan, Kenny G, I could go on, Aretha. They would come to the Kingston Mines or the Checkerboard because it's the home of the blues, and people came to experience it. So it's been a real treat being there, and some of the people have been fantastic. Josh Stone sat in with us. Susan Tedeschi sat in with us a few weeks ago. It's been a real blast. So always be prepared. You never know.